What is up, you guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Mackenzie. If you're not new, thank you for coming back. So I'm gonna make this intro quick. We're doing my nails today. I know, most of you guys are here for the glass content, which I get, but we're gonna switch it up today. I've got some really good glass videos planned for the future, so don't leave me just yet. Creators Brand had reached out to me and they actually sent me their cutter's mate and their bottle cutting system. So I'm really excited to try both of those out. Make sure you're subscribed and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload those videos. But for today, we're doing my nails. I get so many questions about my nails. I used to do acrylics. I've been doing my own nails for over 4 years now. I am not a professional. I do not claim to be one. This is just how I specifically do my nails and what works for me. So I'm gonna show you guys just that. I'm gonna link everything down below, and I'm also going to link some alternative brands just in case you wanna try something else. But super easy, you guys. If I can do it, you can do it. It's so much easier than acrylic. It's faster. There's no mess. There's no odor. It's cheaper in the long run, and it's super, super easy. Again, if I can do it, you guys can do it. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how. If doing my gel nails sounds like something you're into, let's get started. All right, guys, so as always, let's just quickly go over everything that I'm going to use in today's video, or everything that I've got in front of me. I'm going to link everything down below, and I'm also going to link some alternative brands just in case you're looking for something else or want to try something different. I'll link both brands that I use and that I approve of down below. Okay, so first things first, nail drill. So nail drill isn't really necessary because these gel forms are already shaped. All I use this for is just a little bit of blending on the back to help blend it into my natural nail and to rough up the surface of the inside of the nail tip. So this is the most important part. Before we can use these nail tips, we have to rough up the surface of the inside where it's going to come in contact with our nail. So everywhere that comes in contact with our actual nail, we need to rough up inside, and there's no way to get a nail file or anything like that inside. So you've got to use a nail drill, or you can use just the nail drill tip, something like that. You've got to be able to rough up the inside. So nail drill isn't necessary, but something like nail drill tips definitely is. So nail drill tips, let's talk about the actual gel extensions. So I use eNail Couture, but again, I'm gonna link a couple brands down below, but eNail Couture makes the best pre-shaped full coverage gel extensions. So these are the XXXL long extreme tapered stiletto nails. So these are already shaped for me. They're the full coverage gels, exactly what we're looking for, and they're made in USA, which I absolutely love. They don't come in a case like this. They come in little Ziploc bags. I made this case, but I absolutely love them. So you need your full coverage gel extensions, whatever shape you want, whatever length you want, they have it somewhere. So we've got our full coverage gel extensions. We need everything to prep our nails. So the way we prep our nails doing gel extensions is pretty much the same way you prep your nails doing acrylics. So you're gonna need a couple different types of files. I've got 100, 180 grit. I've got a buffer because we're gonna have to buff the entire surface of the nail when we're done. You're also going to need your Prep and Clean or your dehydrator. You're gonna need your No Lift Nails primer, or any type of acrylic primer, nail primer will work. You're gonna need your basic tools like cuticle pushers, maybe a brush to get rid of all the nail dust. And the most important things are our curing lamps. I have a mini portable UV LED lamp right here. So if you want to skip the little mini portable lamp and you get something big like this, you've got to make sure it's big enough to fit both of your hands inside. So you have to cure that gel extension tip on while holding it in place, because it doesn't just stick on by itself. That gel isn't going to cure until it hits the light. So we have to put that gel extension tip on, flash cure it in the lamp, and it's kind of tricky to get it inside a lamp. So as long as you get something big enough that you're going to be able to flash cure your own nail with. These are the most important things. So these two products right here is what makes the magic happen. So again, I use eNail Couture. They are the best. I absolutely love them. But just a note, you guys, especially right now because of Corona, everywhere is taking forever to ship. So whether you use eNail Couture or APRES Nails, it is going to take a long time before you get your stuff because everybody is trying to do their own nails right now. So please keep that in mind. Of course, I'm going to link all that stuff down below, link a couple different options. But again, these are the most important pieces. So we've got here our base gel and our press-on gel. So press-on gel is essentially the same thing as extend gel for APRES. So it's all going to be dependent on which brand you're using, but base gel, extend gel. So base gel goes on our nails, extend gel or press-on gel goes into the nail tip and onto our nail. So the press-on gel is what makes the apex of the nail. So the apex, the strong point of a nail when you're doing your acrylics, is what's going to be built with the press-on gel. You need to have an apex still, and if you try to skip that step and just stick them on with base gel, it's going to be poor quality. They're going to pop off. They're going to pop off or they're going to break. I don't want that. So the whole reason I am continuing to use gel extensions is because they are outlasting my acrylics by a long shot. I am so hard on my nails. I work with my hands. I'm a stained glass artist. I use my nails as tools, and somehow these full coverage gel extensions are outlasting my acrylics. That's insane. So I think that's everything. Let's start prepping our nails. So again, we've got to prep our nails just like we would doing acrylic nails. So I'm going to get all this stuff out of the way and start doing that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is push back all of my cuticles, make sure I have no gunk down in the corners here, get them nice and prepped to buff. Please excuse the nail dye on a couple of my fingers. I had to dye my hair last night, so it looks black, sorry. But I'm just going to gently push back all of my cuticles. All right, guys, so cuticles are pushed back. Next step is the most important step. Prep time is what takes the longest. If you do not prep your nails properly, they are not going to last. So we need to, beyond pushing the cuticles back, prep our nails by buffing the surface of them down. So you need to lightly buff the entire surface. Now, this is where people go wrong. If you don't get every single corner, every single edge of this nail buffed, your nails are gonna lift, your nails are gonna pop off. So giving it that roughed up surface gives it something to stick to. It's like trying to paint over an already painted and sealed wood. It's going to chip eventually. You usually have to sand that wood before you apply something else. So same principle here, we need to rough up the surface to give the gel extension something to stick to. So we've got to make sure we get inside every little corner, every little section of that nail and lightly buff it. You don't want to use a 180 grit on your natural nail. Use something softer or a softer nail drill belt and quickly go over that surface. So once we quickly go over that surface, I am going to go back in with my hand file just to really make sure I'm getting down inside every single corner. So I'm going to do that for every single nail and round out the tops. So again, you've got to make sure that you're getting deep down into the very corners and very edges of your nails. If you miss a spot, that nail is going to lift. This is the most important part, so take your time. Our cuticles are pushed back, we're filed. Now we're ready to actually prep our nails. But before we do that, I like to pick out my nail tips. So once we put that dehydrant on in our primer, sometimes primers leave a little bit of a residue, so I don't like to pick up the nail tips after that. I want to just go right in with the nail tips once these are on. So I'm just going to pick out all of my nail tips, and I'm sure you guys know how to do this. So the objective is to fit the nail to the best possible option that works for you. Of course, these are full extension nail tips, and just like with normal nail tips, file it if you have to. If you are in an in-between size, go bigger and file it down to fit, because those little issues, if it's too small or if it's too big, is going to affect not only the final result and how it looks, but how it performs. And it needs to fit your nail correctly. I've got big old thumbs, so I'm either gonna be a 0 or a 1 on my thumbs. So I am just holding out the nail tip, and you can see I've got a little bit of overlap right on that edge. That nail tip is a little bit too big for that thumb. Can you guys see that okay? That nail tip hangs over the edge of that thumb. So while at first glance that looks like it fits, it's a little too big. So I'm gonna go over to 1, and I'm gonna try 1. Now that's a better fit. That's a perfect fit. We don't have any overhang on the edges. The only thing I'd say we could do is probably square out the bottom of this, because my thumbs are very square down at my cuticle and this is very round. So we want to get it up close to that cuticle and be able to blend it in nice with my natural nail. So I'm probably going to square off that thumb just to fit my nail a little bit better. So I'm gonna go through and fit each of my nails and lay them out in front of me in order. All right guys, sorry if it's a little hard to see. Obviously we've got some crystal clear nail tips, but it's not really important to see those just yet. So we've got all of our nails sized. We've got them in order according to facing me, so I know which one goes on which nail. Now we have to prep the nail tip itself. So this is where we have to go in and grind up and buff the surface of the nail tip everywhere it is going to hit our nail. So if you need to, just hold your tip over your natural nail so you can see how far up you have to buff up on the inside. So this is where I'm going to take my nail drill. I'm gonna put a little bit of a smaller tip on. And again, on a very low setting, I'm going to buff up the inside of that nail. So everywhere where this nail tip is gonna touch my natural nail, I want to rough up, just gently. You don't want to grind away any of the integrity, but you need to rough up that surface nice and good. Now we're looking good. So we've got to rough up every single nail tip just like that. All right, so I'm just gonna try to get all this dust out of the way here. If you want to go the extra mile with these, you can take the soft side of your nail file and you can thin out the very edge of this nail tip. So this is gonna help it blend even better to your natural nail. All right, let's try to clear our work area of all this nail dust, because you want to try to avoid getting any of that nail dust in your actual bond. Once we start putting these babies onto our actual nails, you want to get rid of all this dust. All right, our nails are prepped, our tips are prepped. Now we actually have to prep the beds of our nails. So I'm gonna go in with a dehydrator first and the primer second. All right guys, primer is dry. We're getting ready for the fun part. So before we apply our tips, first thing we have to do is apply the base gel. So the base gel is going to go right on our nails. So I've got my big lamp set up in front of me, and all you're gonna do is just normally base coat your nails with the base gel, put it in the curing lamp for a minute, and you'll be good to go. Again, making sure I'm completely covering the entire nail. I'm not missing any spots. And I'm not putting a ton of gel on it either. I'm doing just a nice even layer like it was nail polish or something. All right, so we are done. We are ready to start putting on our actual nail tips. So we need our press-on gel. And this is pretty thick. This stuff is thick. It's almost like jelly. So it takes a little bit of getting used to how to kind of work and swirl around this gel, but it's very thick. All we're gonna do, we're gonna first brush off most of that gel, and we're going to lightly coat that entire area that we've buffed on the inside of the nail. So we're gonna make sure every single section of that buffed part is evenly coated with gel, right? So we evenly coated that entire buffed area with gel. Now we're gonna go back in and really dip in, pick up a lot of gel, and deposit the majority of that gel, kind of build up a gel wall back here, close to the back end of the nail. So what we're doing is building up that apex, so when we squeeze it onto the nail, it's going to kind of squish and smooth out. And going in first to completely cover that buffed area is going to make sure that when that gel squeezes out, it's not going to have any bubbles or dry areas. That's prepping that spot to help blend the gel when we push it onto the nail. Does that make sense? So again, you've got to make sure you've got plenty of this gel backed up here. Do you see all that? I've got a pool of gel back here because this is a big thumbnail. So now I'm gonna get my mini curing light ready. I've got it turned on because I'm gonna pop that thing right in my mouth. I'm gonna turn my nail around, line it up, and starting from the back, gently rock forward until you see that that gel has made contact with your entire nail and stop. You see right there? That's perfect. You don't want any bubbles, you don't want to move it. So now we've got to flash cure this in place. So like I said, it's really tricky to get it under the lamp. It's easier to do this. All right, once it's cured for a second, you can take it out of your mouth and keep that lamp on there because you don't want that to move. We're good to go. That flash cure is going to be enough to hold that nail on while we do the rest of our nails and before we get it in the finishing cure big lamp. Does that make sense? So let's do a couple more before I speed through the rest. So again, I'm picking up my tip. First thing we're going to do is coat that entire area. Nice light coat. Now we're going to dip back in and go for the gold. Nice and thick back here. We're building up that theoretical apex with gel. Making a nice thick wall back here. Gonna get my lamp ready, turn it on. Turn my nail around, starting at the back of the nail, making contact and gently pushing forward until I hit the free edge of my natural nail and stopping. Okay, so I know it's really hard to see, but try to look for the gel underneath the tip. So when I make contact with the very bottom of my nail, I gently squish, pushing all of that gel towards the free edge of my nail. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. If you push too hard, all that gel is going to squeeze past your natural nail and then your apex is going to disappear. We want to keep the thickness in that gel. That thick gel is our apex. I didn't say this was going to be a pretty process, guys, but it's honest. That's how I do it. I stick this thing in my mouth and it works perfectly. So who the hell is going to try to hold their nail and get it up under this light? That's going to be a pain in the butt. Having this makes it so much easier. So again, we're just doing a quick little flash cure here. You don't got to keep this on for too long. I can feel it getting real hot. So that's cured enough to hold in place. Next nail. You want to see one more? All right, one more, guys. Gently and lightly coating that entire area. Now going in nice and thick. Building up our theoretical, I guess it's a real apex because it's nice and thick. So again, the reason we do that first coat is when we turn this nail around and we squish it onto the nail, if we had just built that back wall up, when it squishes, we're going to have inevitable dry spots. We don't want dry spots, so coating that entire area first, then building up our wall allows that gel to really squish forward seamlessly and make one solid cure, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense, you guys. But I feel like knowing why we're doing what we're doing not only helps us to remember, but it just makes it easier to do. If we know why we're doing what we're doing, it's going to be a lot more likely that we remember how to do it versus just being told and copying what you see. So again, starting at the back, rocking forward till I hit the free edge of that nail, I'm going to go in and cure. All right. And you can see it starts to turn almost milky looking. I don't like that word, so I apologize in advance, but the gel almost starts to turn milky white when it's really initially curing. You'll be able to see it. All right, last few here. All right, guys, that's one hand flash cured. So now to set everything in place, I'm going to stick this in my big boy lamp for 90 seconds. All right, guys, so this hand is now done. Everything is set permanently. We are ready to move on to the next hand. But I did want to mention the reason I do 90 seconds is because that's a cool setting on this lamp. So it works its way from dimmer to brighter to give you that full cure. But starting out in the low heat mode, the lamp starts a little bit dimmer. That way your nails cure and doesn't heat the hell out of your nail beds like it does particularly with mine. So 90-second cure. These nails are good to go. Now we just gotta finish the right hand, buff them all, and paint them. All right, guys, so my left hand is done. Now we gotta do my right hand. So we're going back to the first step of just a base gel. So we're gonna take the base gel and just do an even thinner coat on all of our nails. All right, base gel is cured. Now time for the nail tips. And same thing here, guys. I'm just gonna do what I did for the left onto the right. All right, guys, these have flash cured enough. Last step and last hand, I'm going to final cure them for 90 seconds in the lamp. All right, final steps here. Our nails are completely cured. They are solid and ready to go. The last thing we have to do is just any last minute filing we want to do. So I'm going to take the soft side of my file and just blend out this back edge. So I'm gonna try to just make these edges that blend into my natural nail look a little bit softer. So I'm just gonna gently go around sidewalls and the cuticle area and blend that in for every single nail. All right, guys, so filing and blending is done. The last thing we have to do is buff the entire surface. So before we can paint our nails, whether we're using normal nail polish or gel, I will always suggest gel now because even that is going to add another layer of strength onto your nails. So I always suggest gel, but if you're gonna use polish or gel, doesn't matter. We have to buff the entire surface of these nails. So you can see how shiny these nail tips are. We're gonna have to buff that entire surface so that gives the nail polish or gel polish something to stick to. So I'm going to buff the entire surface of all these nails. Nails are completely buffed. So before I pull out any paint, I'm just going to clean my area right here, sweep away all that dust, wash my hands, then the last step is to paint them. Alrighty, so my area is clean, my hands are washed, nothing revolutionary here, guys. I'm just going to use a basic black gel polish and a gel top coat. I'm gonna paint all my nails and then we're done. So I will give you a final look once these nails are finished. Alrighty guys, that is it. Here are the finished nails. Oh, I feel so much better. There's no way I was leaving the house today without my nails on. I just can't do it. It's one of those things, like, I think some people don't feel right if they don't do their hair or their makeup. Me, it's my nails. If I don't have my nails on, I feel like a swamp witch. Okay, so, I mean, you know, that's pretty funny because people probably think I'm a swamp witch when I have my nails on. Anyways, okay, this is it for the video, guys. Here are my finished nails. Hopefully you found today's video helpful. I know most of you guys are here for the glass, so I appreciate you guys watching. But I will say I've got some pretty awesome glass videos coming up. Cutter's mate and a bottle cutter. So I'm gonna be testing out both of those in a couple videos coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload those videos. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.